I touch, that's fine for you. I do that 3, 4 times again, I testify for you. I told her like you, that bitch, I do it all, and I'm around, you're scared to do it. I'm not.
Grandma has diabetes. Grandfather passed and had high blood pressure and glaucoma.
And which side is that going to be on?
Mom's side and dad's side, grandma had Alzheimer's. So I don't know if you guys didn't know that, but
You said
dad.
Grandma or Grandpa had high blood pressure?
Oh, sorry. Grandpa had high blood pressure and
glaucoma.
Yes.
And Grandma had diabetes?
Yes.
Got it.
She has diabetes.
Got it. Perfect. Taking any medications?
No, ma'am.
Are you taking a prenatal?
No, but I'm gonna start having to do that, yes.
So, pick up anyone that you like.
Okay.
You want. If you like a gummy, get a gummy. If not,
Okay, I like
gummies.
gummies. Yeah.
Especially because now they have like those ones that are like raspberry
flavor, right?
Good. And no drug allergies that you know of.
No, ma'am.
And do you smoke, drink, do drugs?
No, ma'am. Well, I drink wine, before I was pregnant, but I won't be doing that anymore.
All right. So on our website, there is a QR code up in the front that you can scan that will take you straight to it. But
okay.
Our website's pretty easy to get to anyway. Just type in my OB, come up.
Okay.
Gives you a little breakdown. So you're going to go to OB folders, click new OB.
Okay.
Brings you to this page. Gives you a breakdown of how frequently we're going to see you. Different things to start thinking about. Talks about our call coverage and how we share with another office, over-the-counter meds that are safe for you and the baby during the pregnancy, things to try for nausea and vomiting at home.
Okay.
That one would be a good time for
you. Yes, definitely.
Just lots of different things to start thinking about while you're,
Cool.
So, what questions do you have today?
Not many questions, I guess. You said the next phase will be the ultrasound. Do you know when that would be?
So we have a couple of options. One, we can do your dating scan in like 3-ish weeks.
Okay.
And see how far along we are. And then,
Okay. So we did move. So we moved, and before we moved, I had an ultrasound, right, in Georgia. I had the ultrasound, and it wasn't vaginal. She just put it on my stomach.
What's she talking about? About me.
You're not right. He did that on purpose. I'm like, well, when you go to once you go to your next appointment, we'll do the intense ultrasound so we can really see what's going on in there. So I just didn't think it was a big deal. I was just like, okay, great. The next ultrasound, when I actually get to see the baby, we'll figure it out then. And so we just didn't think of anything about it. So once we moved to South Carolina, I got with a doctor here and I got everything set up and I had my first ultrasound here. So I get there, right? I'm excited. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm gonna go see my baby. At the time, here we go. In the video, you'll see that I'm on the phone with him. He didn't come to the appointment or whatever, but we were on FaceTime. So I'm at the appointment, I'm there by myself, and it's the nurse. It's like this, a girl that was in training, I guess, to be a nurse, and then it's the nurse assistant. So it's 3 people in there. So right now I'm waiting for the doctor. I'm supposed to see Dr. Fisher. I just did my urine sample. I'm really, really nervous. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Maybe because I've been like so sick. So yeah, excited. So she, she's like, oh, is this your, like, just talking to me about my history and everything. So she does an ultrasound, but she puts it in my actual, vagina. So she's moving everything around in there and she's like, okay, that's interesting. Like, like, I'm like, what's going on? Like, please just tell me what's going on. So she's like, we both look at the screen and I don't see a baby inside of me. I just see like different parts, things just moving around, like just a bunch of stuff moving around. There is no heartbeat. And she was like, okay, I can see what's going on here. It looks like you're having a molar pregnancy. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what are you talking about? What is a molar pregnancy? Like, what? I'm healthy. I take care of myself. Like, what is going on? Like, what are you talking about? And so I got dressed. They gave me a moment. I was really in shock. I didn't cry or anything when she first told me. Because first of all, it was just too many. It was just 3 people in there. I'm just finding out that something's wrong. And I just was just kind of like in shock. Like, what? And so I get dressed and I talk to Will. We're talking and he's looking up what it means and he's trying to figure out, basically also calm me down and also figure out what's going on because he's on the phone. He's not there. So I'm going to read to you guys what exactly a molar pregnancy is. Okay, one moment. The nurse, it's like this, a girl that was in training, I guess, to be a nurse, and then it's the nurse assistant. So it's 3 people in there. So she, she's like, oh, is this your, like, just talking to me about my history and everything. So she does an ultrasound, but she puts it in my actual, vagina. So she's moving everything around in there and she's like, okay, that's interesting. Like, like, I'm like, what's going on? Like, please just tell me what's going on. So she's like, we both look at the screen and I don't see a baby inside of me. I just see like different parts, things just moving around, like just a bunch of stuff moving around. There is no heartbeat. And she was like, okay, I can see what's going on here. It looks like you're having a molar pregnancy. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what are you talking about? What is a molar pregnancy? Like, what, I'm healthy, I take care of myself, like, what is going on? Like, what are you talking about? And so I got dressed. They gave me a moment. I was really in shock. I didn't cry or anything when she first told me. Because first of all, it was just too many. It was just 3 people in there. I'm just finding out that something's wrong. And I just was just kind of like in shock. Like, what? And so I get dressed and I talk to Will. We're talking and he's looking up what it means. And he's trying to figure out, you know, basically also calm me down and also figure out what's going on because he's on the phone. He's not there. So I'm going to read to you guys what exactly a molar pregnancy is. Okay, one moment. Okay, so she's like, it looks like you're experiencing a molar pregnancy. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, can you, what does that mean? So I'm just going to let you guys know from the definition that I see here because I have my laptop right here. A molar pregnancy is a rare condition of pregnancy. It involves unusual growth of cells called trophoblast. These cells typically become the organ that feeds a growing fetus. That organ also is known as the placenta. There are 2 types of molar pregnancy: complete molar pregnancy and partial molar pregnancy. In a complete molar pregnancy, the placental tissue swells and appears to form fluid-filled cyst. There is no fetus. In a partial molar pregnancy, the placenta might have both regular and irregular tissue. They may be a fetus, but the fetus can't survive. The fetus usually is miscarried early in the pregnancy. A molar pregnancy can have serious complications, including rare form of cancer. A molar pregnancy requires early treatment. Okay, so that is what a molar pregnancy is. Now, a molar pregnancy may seem like a regular pregnancy at first, but most molar pregnancies cause symptoms that include dark brown or bright red bleeding from the vagina during the first 3 months. I had no bleeding. She asked me, did I have any bleeding? I had none at all. This is why I'm making this video, because a lot of, you know, women, especially black women, we are not familiar with this. I've never heard of a molar pregnancy. I've heard of a miscarriage, but what is a molar pregnancy, you know? It says it also has severe nausea and vomiting. I was experiencing that, but I was even on a medicine to stop me from vomiting. That's how bad I was throwing up. Sometimes rape-like cysts that pass from the vagina. I didn't experience that. Pelvic pressure or pain. I really didn't have that much pelvic pressure or pain. The only thing that I was experiencing was nausea. So how was I supposed to know that I'm having a molar pregnancy? How was I supposed to know that? How was I supposed to know that? Like, I'm still a newer mom. Like, I'm still learning myself, you know? So, and then not only that, I looked up, you know, what causes this? Like, is there something that I did? What did I do? Is there something, like, what's wrong with me? That's, of course, that's the first question you're going to ask being a woman. Like, I'm in my early 30s. Like, I'm healthy. Like, so the causes, an egg fertilized atypically causes a molar pregnancy. Human cells usually have 23 pairs of chromosomes. In a typical fertilization, 1 chromosome in each pair comes from the father, the other from the mother. In a complete molar pregnancy, 1 or 2 sperm fertilize an egg. The chromosomes from the mother's egg are missing or don't work. The father's chromosomes are copied. There's none from the mother. So it didn't get my chromosomes, but it got Will's chromosomes twice because I had a complete molar pregnancy. I didn't have a partial, I had a complete. So the partial was a little different, but I'm just going to focus on what I had because that's what I experienced. Okay, so yes, I had a complete molar pregnancy. Now the risk factors, this is what was very interesting to me. Factors that can contribute to a molar pregnancy include earlier molar pregnancy. If you've had 1 molar pregnancy, you're most likely to have another one. A repeat molar pregnancy happens on average in 1 out of every 100 people. And I pray that I do not have a repeat of this. But it also said the age of the mother. A molar pregnancy is most likely in people older than age 43 or younger than age 15. And I'm like, I'm 30. At that time, I was 31. So this doesn't even sound like, something that would happen to me. And not only that, I read somewhere that it usually happens to, I'm just going to be real with y'all, it usually happens to, it usually does not happen to women of color. Let me just say that. It usually does not happen to women of color. So the fact that that also happened, it was like, this just seems like what in the world? You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm mixed with all type of stuff, I'm not just fully black, just like any of us are, we're not, but I am mixed with all type of things or whatever. So I'm just kind of like, what in the world? Like, what are you telling me right now? So a molar pregnancy. So do you know when the doctor came back in, okay, I got dressed. She sat me down and said, okay, we're going to have to do an immediate surgery.
In the afternoon.
Okay.
If you would be okay with that.
Yes.
With the DNC, there are a couple of things to look out for, okay? It's a procedure, so there are risks with it. It's a fairly minor procedure, okay? But there are risks of bleeding. In a case like yours with a molar pregnancy, we do know they bleed a lot, so we are usually prepared for bleeding, but that is something that we have to, be aware of. Okay. And so we usually sometimes may be prepared with blood if we need to, okay? There's a risk of infection. We actually give you antibiotics at the beginning of the procedure to try and prevent that. Okay. And then there is also a risk of having damage to other organs, okay? In a case like this, that's incredibly rare, but that would mostly mean our insurance making a hole in your uterus, okay? Okay. Generally speaking, if that were to occur, that actually usually heals on its own and there's nothing we need to do about it. Okay. But very rarely would require us to look in your belly button with a camera to make sure you didn't have bleeding internally. Okay. But otherwise, we go through your cervix, we just dilate your cervix open, we kind of get all of that pregnancy out, and then we send that off to the pathologist who also gives us a final diagnosis of everything. Okay. 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 What questions do you have? So this is a lot.
Right now, I really don't have any questions.
Okay.
A little bit overwhelmed. So.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair. I know obviously this is not, it's not usually what I expect either. So, right. But it does, like I said, that pregnancy hormone level gets really, really high, and so a lot of times you can get a lot of nausea and vomiting. Okay. With it, and so that's what we see with these sorts of things, unfortunately.
And you said that it's caused by an additional sex chromosome?
Mm-hmm. So what either happens is you have, for some reason, an abnormal egg. Mm-hmm. And so usually when your eggs in the sperm are formed, there's only one sex chromosome. So an X and a Y or an X and an X. Right. Well, usually either what happens is the egg usually might have had two accidentally somehow. It's abnormal and has two sex chromosomes, and then when the sperm joins, it gets that third one. Mm-hmm. Or what can also happen sometimes is the one egg accidentally gets fertilized by two sperm at the same time. Okay. So it's very rare. It does not happen very often. Okay. And overall, there would be a low risk for recurrence in the future, but we would have to follow this the HCG, which is the pregnancy hormone, down to 0. Okay. So it will be important for you to be on a birth control for a while after this. Okay. Because if you accidentally got pregnant kind of while we were trending that down, it can be sometimes hard to tell, is this an early cancer? Because that's how we follow it, is that HCG, mm-hmm. or is it a new pregnancy? Okay. Okay, so we have to be very careful about that. Okay. Okay, most of these, we do the surgery, it goes away on its own, we follow those levels down to 0, and you don't have to worry about it again. Okay. Okay. That's the large majority, but there are that very rare few cases where it could turn into like a cancer. Okay. Okay, so we got to be real on top of it. Right. Okay. Okay. What other questions? If you don't have any right now, if you're just processing everything, that's fine.
Those are all my questions for now.
Okay. So what I want to do, we're going to get you to the lab and go ahead and get all your blood work done. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and check your blood levels and a blood type on you as well too. just kind of for preparation for surgery. And then I'm gonna go talk to our surgery scheduler right now to see if we can just go ahead and get you added on so that they can go over that information for you. Okay. The important things to remember is there'll be nothing to eat or drink after midnight that night before. Okay. And I think that's it.
Okay, so nothing to eat, you said tonight?
No. So if you come in on Friday, so midnight on like Thursday night, nothing to eat. So no breakfast or lunch on Friday. Okay.
Yes, today's Wednesday.
Yes. I have to think about that too.
Wednesday's Thursday.
Yes. So nothing to eat that morning of, basically. And then once we get a set time for you, then they will have you come in 2 hours early so you can meet with anesthesia. They can do your IV and kind of get everything ready.
Okay, got it.
What other questions?
That's all for now.
Okay. Let me go get all that stuff set up. So hopefully you should be kind of set when you leave here. Okay. I will see you today. Okay. So that we can check your pregnancy hormone level and kind of see where it's at. Okay. And then we do need to kind of move forward with doing the DNC.
Right.
Okay. I was just kind of looking at the schedule, and I could do it on Friday because I would rather do it sooner rather than later because I don't want you to be at home and start bleeding.
Right.
You know. Would you be okay with doing it on Friday?
So the doctor came in and said, we're going to have to do an emergency surgery. Are you available on Friday? Which I think was like 2 days after my ultrasound, or the next day. Oh my Lord, y'all. I had to have emergency surgery. That's how serious it was, to the point where I needed to make sure that everything was removed out of me so that I didn't get cancer. And I am so grateful for my son. I don't know what I would do without my baby boy who helped me get through this process. This is me just taking some photos when I was, thought I was pregnant. I will forever cherish my angel baby. I love you so much.